My goodness, I enjoy the Yule theme in Lord of the Rings Online. I like that music. It's very upbeat and cheerful, and don't get discouraged by all the cold, long, dark days of winter. Hello, and welcome to Plugging Along, a stream dedicated to LOTRO plugins. Last time, I'm missing a window. Last time on Plugging Along, we tried to finish up adding unit tests to Festival Buddy 2 before Yule starts, and hey, today Yule has started, so we're going to go ahead and test the quick guide and check the barter list and generally make sure Yule works in Festival Buddy 2. As always, feel free to jump into chat with your thoughts and questions, and in the meantime, away we go. Looks like there was a question from the lower head for Narnar. Which one is the jingly one? I don't remember anymore. So if anyone knows which mount was the jingly one, wasn't it the goat with presents? Let's see. Not the treasure-laden one. Maybe it's pony. Oh, you could buy with tokens. Wow. I guess I will not try to guess which one it was. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab a Hobbit gift, which might contain something neat. It was okay. My goodness, I'm hitting the wrong keys. I got 100 Virtue XP and a combat run speed boost. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Virtue XP in the bucket for my alt, who needs Virtue XP, and put the combat run speed into my bucket where it joins 46 others. So apparently I don't use that one very often. Okay. So we are looking at Yule. So what I want to do is go ahead and refresh my list of available plugins, and then go ahead and load up Festival Buddy 2. I really enjoy using Festival Buddy 2, especially the quick guide feature, which I added for Yule apparently last year. It says so at the bottom anyway. Guide created by Cube during the 2023 Yule. Now I don't remember specifically when I did it, but past me was probably right about that. So we're going to do a quick run through of the quick guide to make sure it still works okay, and show off how to use it if you're not familiar with it. And then we'll look at other parts of the Festival Buddy plugin. Okay, so quick guide. In the spirit, take In the Spirit of Yule from Mara Sandy Downs in Winterhome. Great. One thing you may notice is that things are color-coded in the quick guide. And what this is an optional feature where you can highlight, in some of the quick guides, the ones that support it, you can highlight locations as a specific color. So for instance, if I wanted all of my locations to be, I don't know, super bright red, maybe? Yeah. Then all of the locations here would change. There's not too many of them, so let's go ahead and change something else. Quest. If I want to change the quest from a blue to, let's say, this color, then all of the quest names will change that color. And we can see the two primary colors that we're using are quest names and NPC names. You don't have to use colors at all. You can just disable them, and in which case you will only see the gray text that the quick guide started with. But I find it really useful when I'm scanning this for what am I doing next, to just have a quick little reference of, are we talking about a quest, are we talking about an NPC name, are we talking about a location? So that's why those colors exist, and that's how to change them. Okay, so let's go to NPC and Mara Sandy Downs. Now, the quick guide does kind of assume that you already... No, I don't want to do that one. That you already know what you're doing in Yule. It doesn't give you extra information. It just says, take this quest from Guard Kemper. Okay, I'll take the quest from Guard Kemper. Knowing that this quest only comes up sometimes, I always look over to Onike. But then we'll go ahead and continue since Onike does not want to cooperate now. Moving them off, continue quest with Ted Ives. It doesn't, I guess it does tell you where Ted Ives is, because I was having trouble tracking where those 5 names happen to correspond in reality. Okay, pick up those quests, moving them off with Regina Judson. And injected in. That is not a very successful family at the moment, but we're sending them off to the Revolution headquarters where they can get some food, warm up, and plot against the mayor. Alright, making mischief, set off fireworks. Now, again, the quick guide doesn't say where the fireworks are. It does kind of assume that you know this already. I was playing Landscape on Treebeard the other day, and I was having some issues with my music. So for the moment, I have turned my in-game music off, which is sad because I really like the music for Yule. But I did not want to recreate the issue if it was a music issue. I only really started noticing it after I upgraded from Windows 10 to Windows 11. So I'd like to blame it on that, but I don't really know. Oh, I do like to remove all my quests from the quest tracker around this point because I do not want to miss trying to spread cheer to the snow beasts because of a full quest tracker. Alright, what do we have here? Looks like there's still no Onake, so we should have time to finish tidying up. So I'm going to grab that now. And apparently, Festival Buddy is paying attention to the escape key. So while I queue up these first two dishes, we're going to go fix that. Escape key does not close that. Okay, good. As long as you don't move, you can queue up multiple things. You can click on them. I use my select next object and interact buttons, so I don't have to use the mouse to do it. The danger is, just like what we saw there, is if you move, it'll cancel whatever your skill queue is at the moment. Maybe skill is not the right. Whatever your queue is. Okay. The quick guide does not keep track of how many of a thing that you have done. It just will identify when you have done the thing. So we are just going to path around here to enough tables where we have done each of the dirty dishes, liquid spills, and reeking garbage. Nope. I accidentally selected the oven, I think, and tried to run over there. Not ready for that. So, because we are trying to time this for Onake's quest as well, we don't want to miss this, I am running this quest to completion so that I can turn it in so that we can pick up Onake's whenever she's available. Okay, so turn and tidying up to Basil. If you already did the biggest stomach of all, you don't have to do this now, but this is important if you have not. Now, it can take a second for it to update the internal state before deciding whether or not Ona gives you something. Don't see it. So, we've done everything we can in here. So we'll bounce out at least to pick up the snowman, and then we decide whether or not we're willing to come back in or head back out. Now, I have already completed the deed, so the broken snowman is the easiest one to complete with only 2 ingredients, one of which is right here. Okay, I am going to go ahead and I have a feeling Onake is probably going to be ready now or soon, so we'll go ahead and just grab that coal and the servant's oven while we're here and do a little in-town stuff. So we're doing this a little out of order. Okay. And yes, thank you, okay. However, I do not want to wait for that to start in town. I want to let that timer run. So, let's go collect some eggs. Couldn't remember if I turned my graphics back up. I have. Excellent. Alright, on to the Grumpwood. Is it called that here? I guess we'll find out. The map doesn't have those labels. The Grumpwood! Yes, even outside the instance. Now, this is super easy as a minstrel. There's no inductions to worry about, and reasonable range on all the skills. If you are a mostly melee character, then my apologies if I've stolen these grouchy trees from you before. Alright, is 9. Okay, I see in my chat that it says let the stuffing begin. So, the contest is running back in town, which I'm happy with because if there's anyone else there waiting, they can go ahead and get past the first table while I'm out collecting winterberry bushes and defeating winter weather and all that. So by the time I get back there, it's highly unlikely that I'll be competing with anyone, which is my favorite type of competition. Alright, that's our 4 winter weather, and then we'll just finish with the winterberry bushes. And obviously the quick guide is marking things off as we finish them, so now it thanks for collecting the 5 winterberry bushes as we are. That was number 4, so after this one, the stuffing the stuffed entry will automatically highlight, and after a few seconds disappear. Let's go cheer at an abominable snow beast. I would only think I did it twice. My goodness. You do have to be within a certain distance for it to count. Okay. Let's get some mushrooms, and then we're back in town where we can turn in quests, but also do the food competition. All right. Now, since I've already grabbed the coal, I'm actually going to divert from the normal plan and go plant my snow person, so I will be done outside of town. Let's see, which one do we think is the big one today? How about this one? Yep, excellent. And then we turn that one in as well. Okay. Alright, so here's this first table. Let's go ahead and grab berries or mushrooms. If you forget what's good to eat, you can scroll down in the quest guide for the biggest stomach of them all. We can see berries is only 1%, mushrooms 3%. Everything else starts to get bad. But berries, mushrooms, and then eggs are the good, quote unquote, food if you want to endure for the eating competition. So we're going to go ahead and do mushrooms for the last one. And I like to make sure we're mounted up before we get going. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these so that we can see the timer. Alright, berries, mushrooms. I have to decide if I'm willing to wait for more food to arrive, or I'll go ahead and get 2 of these eggs and hope that we get a refresh that includes a mystery drink. More mushrooms came. Well, I don't see a mystery drink, so mushrooms it is. Now I'm getting +1 on the Yule tokens from each one of these because of the Fateful Toolkit. So if you have that, you will get a few extra. So this is an especially good one to get because you'll get an extra 5 tokens from doing it. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this mystery drink, see if we can't clear some of these debuffs. We did, so this has become easy mode now. 2 tables left and no debuffs makes it so that I could be, yeah, I can eat whatever I want. So, but I will go ahead and eat eggs and mushrooms to start. Okay. Off to the last table. And just to be kind to the next person coming after me, we'll go ahead and chomp some hearty pie. We'll down dense bread. I don't want to say impossible, but it is basically impossible for me to lose based off how long it takes to eat food with how many debuffs I don't have going into this table. Well, you know, I say that. I'll go ahead and do a bread. We'll see how much slower it is now that I have some of these other debuffs in there. -10, -15, -10. Yeesh. Well, good thing there's some mushrooms right next to me. Oh no, the food reset while I was doing it. That is the danger of doing this. I'll tell you what, I am no longer being generous to anyone who comes after me. I will eat some eggs and some berries and call it good. Alright, 6 seconds to spare. Plenty of time. And then if you have your post-processing effects off, this drunken effect shouldn't affect you at all, but after you finish the 5th table, it goes away anyway. Alright, let's go talk to Daily Utteridge. Alright, turn that in, pick up the Charitable Spirit, turn this in. Then we visit these, but this time they don't run away because we're giving them money. Okay, turn in all these quests over here. Glarnar says, Steed of Winter's Light. Thank you, Glarnar. Let's see, I wonder if I have that one. Winter. Boy, I do not, but wow, it's got some furry hooves. Very nice.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
Okay, we're going to go ahead. Oops. I am dismounting myself. Loretta says, thank you. Narnar says, jingle horsey. We're going to go ahead and give coins to the last 2 of these here. Now, I could have gone ahead and turned in the Spirit of Yule to Marasani Dance already, but it's always last because just in case you are a person who doesn't do all of these quests, maybe you don't like to move them off or something, We don't actually know. Nope, not a final act. So, in the spirit of Yule, we did our 10. Awesome. Yule Festival Daily, done. Great. So that gets us all the way through the quick guide. That is the fastest way I have to do all the easy quests, or easy for me in Winterhome. Now, I am interested in getting a few more of these festivity tokens because I would like a Tome of the Snowy Evening Pig, I assume. So let's go look at Storvagun, which I think Little Redhead did not get to this time. So, a boss from the vaults, Storvagun. Now, I am not going to do it on level, but I will do it at level 50, and that is fine. So we're going to come on in here. When you come in, make sure you do talk to the Memories of Storvagun if it's your first Storvagun of the day, where you can accept the daily version of this quest. So now we have 2 of these. One of them is going to give LIXP, the other one gives LIXP and some other stuff. Great. Now, I always feel like I am working against the AI, or the script here, because they have to have some conversation. And then I think you trigger the conversation, but then to trigger Storvagun, do you have to move forward at the right time? I always second guess myself. I wonder if I can mount up. I cannot. Dwarf City does not belong to Storvagun, little man. Okay. We do have a sack of presents. It's my only one. Let's go ahead and use that. Okay. They are here, so be it. Okay, so if you approach after you are garbed in the riches of Angmar and still you dare demand more, giant, it seems to work. Oh, I forgot to, get any sort of buffs. Oh well. May be able to buff until I get close or attack. Works for me. Every time Storvagun goes green, that indicates a wave of ads has been summoned. If you're doing it severely underleveled like this, you can plow through it. If you're doing it on level, that's a good time to stop damage on Storvagun so that you can clear all the ads, so that you have a less chaotic fight. I accidentally tabbed off a Storvagun, so it was actually easier to kill everything else than to try to tab back to Storvagun. Alright, that should be the last wave that Storvagun summons. There you go. If you are able to power through, all the ads will disappear when Storvagun falls. So if you are overpowered enough for that, it's a little bit faster. Alright, and this gives us our 5 festivity tokens there. Fantastic. So that should put me at 25. Yes, it does. And we are out. Now, I need 30 in order to get that, so we may go into the other one. Battle for Frostbluff, I think. Yeah, the Battle of Frostbluff. Now, for this one, I am not really interested in spending a lot of effort on it. I just want those festivity tokens, so we're going to underlevel this to 10 as well. So again, there's the daily. Grab that. Talk to Liddy, and then declare one of them the king. Core! Alright. They're still talking, but we don't have to stay around for it. Once the fire lights up, you've defeated the stationary bands. Now we're just looking for a wave of attacks. And how many mobs are in each attack and how many waves you get, that is dependent on the size of the encounter. We're doing solos, so not very much. There we go. Alright. Oh, don't forget to reclaim it by grabbing the banner. And we're off. Yep. A bit of quote-unquote lag happening. Alright. Fort's been reclaimed. The fire is back. And we can stand by it for some soothing warmth. Hey, Bettina Bone is in chat. Hello! We're just exercising the Festival Buddy plugin. And there's an encounter that we are not concerned with because we are doing this overleveled. Okay. So, yeah, what we're doing at the moment is getting enough festivity tokens where I can barter for one of the new items, and then we'll be updating the barter list in Festival Buddy as best as we can. Okay, Fortress of Frostlake. So the encounters up here. It's a Frosty Winter War. We'll go ahead and tag it on the way just because we can. It is possible to run past these Grims without defeating them, but when it's so easy to defeat them. Alright, mini boss is down. Clear out the remainder. Fort's been reclaimed. Great. So, we can stand by the fire and let them come to us while we have soothing warmth. Maybe they won't come to us. Oh, there they go. Alright, wave number 3. And that's when the encounter comes down. If you're doing this with a full group, like in a 6-person, one of them can just go off and tag that while the rest of you deal with all of these mobs, and they can just run back with that creature. You can either escape out the back side of the fort here, or try to run through this nonsense. Okay, Cold's in retreat. So we're going to come on and claim that banner. Fantastic. Grab that frosted chest. It's the whole point we're here. And we're done. And the Queen of Cluckland is here. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go and grab that Tome of the Snow Evening Pig. But first of all, did I get a chance to update? Nope, not the quick guide, the barter. Have I updated any part of the barter list? I believe I did a little bit, but I was having some trouble there. So let's go ahead and come on down. Oh, right. I need to be looking elsewhere. So, the way Festival Buddies, or the way Lua does tables of things, like this long list of table here, means that sometimes it's easier to edit that elsewhere. So, enter an Excel spreadsheet. And for this, what are we looking at here? I'm going to go ahead and make this smaller. We have hidden this. All right, Tome of the Snow. Tome of the Snowy Banner now? Nope. The Snowy Evening Pig. Great. So we do have this Tome of the Snowy Evening Pig. We have the internal item IDs we need for that. Great. So we're going to be able to represent that. I'm going to go ahead and grab this then. And we can see it is in the inventory, as well as this level 50 item, which I don't think I need. Whoa. All right, my inventory is a bit of a mess. Can I find that? Bear. Okay. Did I have two of them? Apparently. Level 50, level 50. All right. Cool. And also, I must have gotten one the other day. And then the Tome of the Snowy Evening Pig. Great. Let's check out this new pig. All right. That is a pig that is wrapped up in a sweater. Okay. I wonder if we have enough characters. Nope, companion name is too long for the evening part. Okay. So, we have our Snowy Evening Pig. Let's go. And those were the only two additions to the festivity token vendor this year. We can see after that we start with the Wintry Outdoor Fire Pit, Snow Striders, Woven Deer, and so on. So we are done there. I think the Snowy Evening Steed, I feel like that was done somewhere. Snowy, wait, that's new. Icy Expedition Steed, okay. Icy Expedition Steed. Those were listed for Mithril. Are they still Mithril? They are not. Were they also listed for something else? Let's find all of that. Okay, it was actually in 3 different places. So we have a Yule Festivals 35. That was under new rewards. Okay. More the Merrier Steeds Little Festival 80. 80. And also as Mithril. Okay. So we're going to have to go look at that. Okay, the More the Merrier Steeds. Yes. We had Icy Expeditions, Snow Striders, Shire Holly, and Yule Gala. So we have a new one, the Snowy Evening Steed. Awesome. So we have a question of... do we have data? I'm going to see if I have these, the internal IDs for things, or if we're going to have to get them in a different way. Okay, LOTRO, data. Okay, we're going to bring this on over, and we're going to just do a test run, Icy Expedition Steed. And we can see we do have that 318. Great, that matches that. Okay, so this seems like it'll work. Do we have the Snowy Evening Steed? We do. Great. So we're going to go ahead and grab this and insert it on in. That's the Snowy Evening Steed. I would like that to stop being there. And we can see that that is also 80 of these Yule Festival tokens. Awesome. Okay, we have the More the Merrier War Steed. We can see we had Icy Expeditions, comparison, headpiece, saddle, and we're going to add in 3 more. So, what we would like is the Snowy Evening comparison. Oops, great. We also need the Snowy Evening headpiece. We can see it's actually the previous one. Fantastic. And the Snowy Evening saddle we can see here. All together. Okay. And those cost 70, 50, and 40, which is in line with the cost of the previous sets. Great. I will be getting those, but we'll come back through once we have updated the actual barter contents in-game. Then we'll go ahead and purchase all the things that I want, which is everything. Fantastic. And then there is a Mithril Trader over here. Let's check out this. Okay. Yule Festival Steeds, Yule Festival War Steeds. Yule Festival Steeds, Mithril. Okay, so we can see Ice Expedition Steeds, Snow Strider, Shire Holly, Yule Gala, and more. Ice Flower Steed. Okay, great. And what was the one that was the Steed of Winter's Light? Is that in this list? It is. For only 70 Mithril coin, you too can get a Jingle Jangle Steed. Now we'll think about that. It's only for this character, though. I will think of this. But we need to go ahead and add the Snowy Evening Steed here. We still have the Snowy Evening Steed details here. Narnar says, best steed in the game. Well, that is high praise. That is fair. Okay, we're going to go ahead and bring in the Snowy Evening Steed. Great. And for Yule Festival War Steed, we can see the Snowy Evening War Steed Cosmetics package. Oh, I forgot to say that's worth 70 Mithril coin. Worth is... Sorry, that costs 70 Mithril coin. Okay, and we'll go ahead and find that. The Snowy Evening War Steed Cosmetics. Okay. Neat. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the other barterers first. And once we've checked for everything, added what we can, then we'll go ahead and actually update the list in the code. Okay, so consumables. Let's see where this... Okay, so first of all, the new rewards 2023, for some reason, that category is no longer in play, as far as I can tell. So just coming on up here, new rewards, click up AC Expeditions. We're going to have to expect that those were dispersed out somewhere else because these red highlights and orange highlights indicate that these are in use somewhere else in the list. So we're going to keep an eye out for these items, and we know these items exist at least in one other place. Oh, that's behind my head, sorry. But you can see the coloring here. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the consumables. We'll skip past new rewards, but we understand we're probably going to do something about that. Okay, map, frosty, snow, all that's fine. Next, cosmetic clothing. Snow dusted, fun set. I don't have the large dressing room right now, but I do actually like the snow dusted set. It's got some nifty colorings. I'm curious though, could I change that? Oh. What about orange? Yeah, interesting coloring options there. Okay, but moving on. Yule tunic, snowy, Yule, snowy. Great. Next, cosmetic cloaks. Fancy, warm, Yule, snowy, and brisk. Gift boxes. Elf, Breed, Dwarf, Hobbit, Supreme. Housing decorations. We have some new stuff. Let's look to see if we have those items. You know what? I do not need most of that width there. I wonder if I can squeeze that in. Okay, so we're looking for snowy evening walls. Great. So we are in housing decorations here. And we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or did I already get those? Oh, good. I already got those. I was poking my way through these a little bit the other day. So we have snowy evening wall, decorative, and tall, 10 meter and 20 meter. But after that, we have the wintry lantern post, and we can see the rest of these seem to be in there. Bountiful. That's where we ended. Poinsettia, eye-catching Yule tree, snowball arena, theater, unhappy brown snowman, snowman staff, top hat, wizards, bald Yule, mistletoe. Great. Housing maps. Great. Titles. Also good. Festival gifts. Not on this one. So it would be nice to take advantage of our multiple headers to indicate where is this thing. And so what I would like to do is pop open, let's see, what other event can we look at? Harvest Math? No, that one I forgot to do. Farmers Fair. There we go. So Farmers Fair, we want to go ahead and look at how we'd set that up. And we'll probably incorporate the two different divider styles that way. Yep, there we go. So what we want to do is have divider 2 and divider 1. And we'll go ahead and insert a row here because we want to go ahead and say divider 1, that is Jeffrey Bloomer, barter vendor. They all say barter vendor, don't they? Narnar says, would writing a plugin that auto-casks frosty beverage every time it's available violate the terms of service? If a plugin can do it, in general, it doesn't violate the terms of service. But what a plugin can't do is activate skills on your behalf. What a plugin can do is know where the mouse cursor is and put the skill that you are supposed to use underneath the mouse cursor and follow your mouse cursor as it moves so that you just have to click it, and it can also make it disappear when the thing has been clicked. So you could have a plugin that every time the Frosty Beverage is available, the Frosty Beverage icon appears under your cursor, and when you click it, it goes away. But what you can't do is have a plugin that automatically triggers that action. Now, whether or not you used some sort of other thing to make the clicking happening, that may or may not be in violation of the terms of service. But the plugin itself, in general, if it can do it, it's allowed. Where you stretch the line on that is if your plugin is acting in some sort of malicious behavior. Like if whenever you load your plugin, it causes the LOTRO client to crash. Like, that may be against the terms of service, but the answer is don't load the plugin. So you know. Uh, so I guess you could possibly, in those edge cases where you start acting a little maliciously, you might brush up against terms of service. But plugins aren't a the ability to have plugins is supported by Standing Stone Games and LOTRO, but the support for any particular plugin, they take no responsibility for that. So if you have a plugin that is misbehaving, that is on you. Narno says, I was thinking along the lines of performance being aided too much. It's a great thought to have because every game that incorporates plugins the way a lot of MMOs do, World of Warcraft has their add-ons, Lord of the Rings Online has their plugins. The game designers have to decide how much of the game do they open up to the scripting environment. World of Warcraft fell on the much more permissive side of things to the point where you can have auction house automation, you can have much more expansive add-ons than you can practically have in LOTRO, because LOTRO doesn't give plugins access to the APIs. LOTRO doesn't let you do some of the things that maybe you could do in other games. So because they have a restrictive approach to what you can do as a plugin, you can get creative, like positioning the thing under the mouse cursor. That is something that I think you could do. I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure it is something you could do. But you can't click the button for the player. Once upon a time, in the early days of World of Warcraft, you had the ability to downgrade your skills. So I love playing as healers, and I was playing as a priest, and you had your highest level basic healing skill, but you could optionally downgrade it to a lower level skill which took less mana but gave less healing. But if the amount of damage you needed to heal was in line with one of those lower level spells, that was where there was an add-on at the time that I was using, as just it puts a button next to the portrait for that player, and it's just the highest level skill you would need to activate in order to fully heal them, but not overuse your mana. At the time, mana and mana recovery was a big deal. I don't know if that's still the case. Certainly, most of the time in Lord of the Rings Online, our blue bar, our power bar, doesn't feel like we have to conserve in order to make sure we last through a long fight. So that was a very useful thing because it meant you didn't have to think about, what is the range for each of these heal skills and which one is the right one. The plugin could just, or the add-on, could just present the correct one for you to click on. And whether or not that made healing a little just like I'm just clicking the buttons that the add-on tells me to click or not, your experience may vary. But it was neat to see what the possibilities were. In Lord of the Rings Online, you don't have the ability to downgrade your powers to lower level versions of them, so that kind of a thing doesn't necessarily make sense. But healers do have multiple healing skills, so a plugin could definitely know, how much should Raise the Spirit heal in theory. Now, actually, I say that I don't know if I don't know if a plugin has in Lord of the Rings Online has direct access to how much you heal, but you could tell it. So you could tell it, hey, here's how much Raise the Spirit heals, here's how much Bolster Courage heals, and a plugin could suggest which one of those would be better for your target. But it wouldn't necessarily be able to do the targeting for you. Sigosi says, in World of Warcraft in the old days, there was an add-on that made it possible to taxi from one place to another. Yeah, and plugins don't have access to the travel system at all in LOTRO, but even if they have that information, we don't have the ability to activate stable masters or anything. So anyway, yeah. That being said, let's come on back into the incorporation of Divider 1 and Divider 2. So these things are under Jeffrey Bloomer, and then as soon as we get to Festival Gifts, there we go. Festival Gifts started the other one here. So we're going to go ahead and insert, and this is going to be, and I just do a /wave at the NPC, and then I can highlight wave to Alex Gray in this case. I could have typed that, but I try not to type things that I can copy paste, especially when it's in-game names like this. Okay, so we have Alex Gray. Now, it says barter vendor. Are they all barter vendors? Is that a useful thing to say? Okay, Verbena Green Hand is Yule Festivity Token Vendor. Yule Festival Horse Trader, Mithril Trader. Okay. We'll go ahead and include their name for now. Or their title, I guess. Okay, so we have barter vendor. We'll go ahead and copy that. And we have Alex Gray, barter vendor. So under Alex Gray, let's go ahead and see if we are missing things. We're going to say yes we are, for one thing. Anything that is a new reward is over here now, which I think is funny. So we can just do a quick count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Makes sense. So we're going to make room for 20 plus 1 for the header. Okay. So we're going to call this new rewards. Oh, it probably was just called new rewards, and I added the year. That makes sense. Okay. The other thing we need to do is go ahead and have code that accounts for divider 1 versus divider 2. So what we're going to do is come on over for divider 1, divider 2. Great. The code what produces the Lua. Okay. We're going to go ahead and expand this out. I think I had just done it in place. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and call this divider 1, divider 2, and divider height. Interesting. Didn't even think about that. And then divider 1, we can just go ahead and copy that. So we're going to concatenate if appropriate. What on earth, though, is x2 doing? Well, that's the divider height. Okay. So it's actually going to be n2. Great. Then, if divider height was, 70, what would that look like? Yeah. So it does concatenate in. Divider 2, let's go ahead and get that in there. And again, that x2 becomes an n2. And then the divider height, we're looking at s2. That's hilarious. Okay, so I did add a divider height as a thing. Let's go ahead and put that in then. Looks like that was like the last thing. Divider height. Okay. So we're coming on in, I forgot to actually look at what column that was. That was K. And let's go ahead and do an example here. And it needs to be in both of those. Okay, and it looks like I didn't bother to do any further logic here. It was just if these things then. So let's come on into the Lua and we'll bring in the first here. So in the Lua, well, the Lua generator, uh, what we can do is split these out a little bit. So, gotta use the right key to do it though. What is it? Alt-enter? Alt-enter. Okay. If that, then we're going to concatenate that. Otherwise, we'll concatenate that. So that's just the basic. So if there's a divider, but what we want to do is we now have multiple dividers. So what we want to do is say if not is blank of the first divider, so it's going to be A2, then we want to, use, that is M2. Otherwise, if not is blank of B2, we want to use N2. Otherwise, and this is where we would use our core, our original concatenate there, but without the divider production code. Now, it looks like that whole line can be gone, and I'm not 100% sure if I wanted it to do what it just did. Unfortunately, it's not very great about, Excel's not great about showing you what the correction is going to be. Okay, I think I had removed the extra parentheses for that if block. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we've broken here. Oh, of course. So let's go ahead and bring down some new code. In fact, let's go ahead and copy down all of it just to fill in those blanks that we've been making with our inserts. Oh, that was a dangerous thing I just did. Why did I just change the desktop 11? Because I had inserted it at the very top line, things are missing that shouldn't be. So what we want to do is go ahead and copy from the second line instead. And we're going to go ahead and copy that up to the top line. Great. Then we're going to take this and copy this down. And that should be a happier. Yes. Okay, so that was 337. Great. Looks like everything's working great. Okay, so we now have a divider 1, we have a divider 2, and we have a way to make a custom height for these dividers. Okay, so what we want to do is come on in to new rewards under this new section, and we'll go ahead and start bringing them in. So let's go back to our data file. We want a cloak of a snowy. Fantastic. Unfortunately, not all of these were added by the time this data import happened. So if we go ahead and ask what's going on with our find box. Oh, there it is. Of a snowy evening. Oh, that's weird. We can see they used a different space for the name of the item. we can see that that is a non-breaking space frequently found in French data files. Which one is that? Yep, just non-breaking space. Okay, so we don't actually care about this. So of a snowy evening, we're going to go ahead and take everything. Now, if you're not using, I say this, if you are using something like Notepad, I expect it does not, or at least once upon a time it did not, give you that information. So items XML. Let's go see. Okay, so if we bring over Notepad, the Windows 11 version, which has tabs, which is cool, and we can see of a snowy evening. There we go. We can see that it is not telling us that this character is suspicious. And for the average person who's using Notepad, it is not suspicious. But if you use something like Sublime Text or Visual Studio Code would probably show this, then it will identify that you have possibly done a thing that you didn't mean to do. And this is, English specific in its way, because if you're in French, you very well maybe did that, or even in English you can mean to do this, but from a coding perspective, you rarely mean to use a non-breaking space in code, and so no, it's fine. So just bear that in mind. If you care about what the white space is, consider using a tool that understands it. Now, this document contains many invisible Unicode characters, I know. Visual Studio Code is going to possibly be struggling with just how many of those are in here. But eventually, I think it would highlight that, hey, you've got a problem here. I'll let it think for a while. Okay, but our solution is we found the suffix of a snowy evening. We have copy-pasted all of those into a separate document, so we can just look at this. And you know what? I actually don't need that to be a non-breaking space, so we're going to just get rid of it. Okay, does that help? Okay, cloak of a snowy evening. It does help. Very cool. So we're going to go ahead and grab that and its item number, and we'll come back for the prices, actually, once I'm done with all that. So hooded cloak of a snowy evening. Great. Ganarnar asks, what shortcut is it that lets you select the entire line that has search hits in it? This is going to be, of course, editor specific, but I'm using Sublime Text. And in Sublime Text, I am using the shortcut Alt F3 to take the selection that I have and select all the versions of that in a way that your selections are acting independently. So you can do editing or selecting multiple lines. If you look on the actual selection menu, find, we can see find, it's a quick find all. So you can do it with the menu if you want to, but then you have to remember what action it is you're trying to do. For me, it's just easier to remember Alt F3. So we can see there's quick find all. There's other things in here, but I that's my workhorse. Is I find the thing that I think can do. So Alt F3, and then for me it's just Home Shift End to select the whole line. There might be a shortcut for selecting the line. I don't know, but copy it, make a new buffer, and paste. Boy, I don't need that. And that's where we go. So I did the same thing for the non-breaking space. I highlighted the non-breaking space, Alt F3 space to overwrite it in each of the selections. There it says that will save me a lot of time in many endeavors. It is wild how often the ability to do edits across many things simultaneously solves a lot of problems that otherwise I would be thinking, oh, I need to write a program for this, or I need to find a tool like grep or sed or something like that and relearn how to use it. And in now, of course, I'm biased because I deal with computers a lot and I offer to help people with their computer problems. But when I have a friend who's having trouble importing a CSV into Excel because this thing is wrong, it's better than 50-50 chance that I can fix it with a multi-select editing in Sublime Text, even though it's tens of thousands of lines of whatever. As long as I can find that specific pattern that I can find with just a basic select, like in this. Even this, if I knew that these were causing me or a friend problem, we can see there's 755 of them in here, and now there are 0 of them in here, right? It's just like that. And that's a thing where you can do a find, replace all on some very basic stuff in some other programs, but, it's littler things too. Like if I want to find all the uses of the term gauntlet in all of the items, we can see there's 2,362 things named gauntlet. Neat. Now we can actually see there's duplicates. So the next thing I'll often do, we'll go ahead and sort these lines. We'll go ahead and permute them to be unique, and then we can see. Oh, I guess they weren't. Oh, the IDs were different. Okay, I only actually care about the values here. I don't care about the names. Cool. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the value. I just want the display names. And then we'll go ahead and sort them. We'll go ahead and permute them to be unique. And then we can see there's actually 1,458 uniquely named gauntlets in LOTRO, right? Like, it says, I hate that I haven't been using this for the last 20 years now. It was a mind-blown kind of situation when I was introduced to it by a coworker, I don't know, 3 or 4 jobs ago. And it's one of those things that it is very much my hammer where every problem looks like a nail tool. Where it's like, oh, I wonder if I can do multi-selects to fix this problem. And if you're doing text files and if you're doing something across a lot of it in a regular way, the answer is usually. Oh, you work in GIS? Oh, I've got to assume there's a lot of file fix-ups that you have to do. So, cool. So, yeah, that's Sublime Text. That's the multi-editing thing. Highly recommend it. Thanks for calling me out. Oftentimes I'll try to walk through what I'm doing. I was just on autopilot there. Okay. And we'll go ahead and finish adding these items while we're at it. So we need boots. Boots of a snowy evening. Oops. Don't need that. All right. Hood of a snowy evening. So what is the best text editor is one of those things like I don't know that objectively you can have a best. It's really just what is the best one for you. And I'm sure there are competitors to Sublime Text, but Sublime Text has just been a workhorse for me in my day-to-day life as a software engineer and in my personal life as a person who manipulates textual data on the regular. So don't feel like Sublime Text is a must-have. Other programs like Notepad++ and other editors probably have something similar to this multi-editing, multi-select ability. If it's beyond Notepad, and if it's written by and for programmers, it's probably something that they've included. So don't feel like you have to change to Sublime Text just to get this thing. Changing Sublime Text will get you this thing. But a lot of times, changing your muscle memory, if you have 10 or 20 years of muscle memory in a program, like if I had to relearn how to do this multi-select in Notepad++ or some other program, I would be struggling because, yeah, there's a lot of value in that muscle memory and not having to think about what you're doing. So don't feel like this is a you should or must change to Sublime Text. But if you, if your most powerful text editor that you use day to day is Notepad, consider moving to something. Sublime Text is the one I use, but there are others. I say Notepad++ just as an alternative to Sublime Text. I haven't used it in years or decades. I think it was installed at one of the places that I worked. I was like, oh, I'll try this. But any place where I've been able to install my own thing since I learned about Sublime Text, it's Sublime Text. Once upon a time, I was in a Linux shop, and I was much, on a day-to-day, I was using grep and sed and these other text processing tools, and I would have been okay doing stuff like this there, but I really love the visual component of being able to inspect my multi-selects and be able to easily copy-paste them into another buffer to kind of double-check, did I do something reasonable there? And I always felt like that was harder with pipe-based tools like grep and sed and what have you, for being like, did what I just do make sense? Did it produce the results that I want in small so that I can do it across 100,000 lines or a million lines and feel good about the results? Because I can't manually inspect that. That would not be reasonable. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to some other of these items. We're going to go ahead and minimize that, and snowy evening garments, gift wrapped. Selection box. Perfect. So I'm hoping that non-breaking space is going to be a rarity in these items. But I guess we will see. Okay. And we actually have a duplicate of the Snowy Evening Steed here, because one of them is in Yule tokens and one's in Mithril. We're going to come back to that. In fact, comparison. There we go. We're going to go ahead and copy those. Headpiece, saddle, great. Evening war. There we go. He says, Sublime Text downloading. Awesome. I picked up a license for it for not very much, considering how much I use it a while back. And yeah, very, very, very good money spent. I think there's a trial version of it or a free version of it, I think. But yeah, if you manipulate text files at all on the regular, definitely consider that a good 20 money investment or whatever it is. Nara says they should sponsor you. Tell you what, the amount of frustration they have lifted from my life by being an excellent product, I don't mind saying I've had really good experience with these. The one thing Sublime Text did, I don't know, 10 years ago, that I keep in my head as an oopsie, is Sublime Text likes to keep itself updated. So it will check for updates and be like, hey, do you want to update? Sublime Text also has a really good capability of saving your data when you close it. So if you have important stuff in an unnamed, unsaved buffer, and you close Sublime Text, if that is your only Sublime Text window, then the next time you launch Sublime Text, it comes back. It's just there. It just saves it. This is complicated if that was not your only Sublime Text window. If this was a second or third window and you close it, it'll warn you, hey, this has not been modified, it's taken changes. No, that is gone. But your first Sublime Text window has that feature. If you close it, you open it back up, it's just there. It's like a browser window where the tabs reopen automatically when you close it and open it. It's like that. But one time it was like, hey, do you want to update Sublime Text? And I was like, sure. And so it did the update, and when it came up, those unnamed buffers weren't there. And I was like, oh, I'm never doing that again. I will only update when I have saved all my files. Narner says, Notepad on Windows 11 has started doing weird things regarding that as well. Okay, let's check it out. Important stuff. More important stuff. Okay, it says, do I want to save changes? Do I want to save changes? No. Okay, it did not do it by default, but it's possible there's a setting. Continue previous session, start new session, discard unsaved changes. So it sounds like it definitely wants there to be a file name. Important stuff. Now, in their defense, Sublime Text may have fixed this, but I haven't ever tried to replicate the problem. I've just been like, okay, if you're doing a software update, maybe don't trust on the whole my ephemeral files are saved. More important stuff. And actually, let me go ahead and save that. Okay. So if I close Notepad and then I open Notepad back up, it did not remember that session. Interesting. I thought that was going to be opening files. When Notepad starts, continue previous session. Okay, where's my files? All right. Well, whatever you were seeing, Narnar, with Notepad 11, I am not seeing it, I think. But that's okay. I very rarely use Notepad. The last time I was using it was on a friend's computer because they were having weirdness with a CSV file and they didn't have Sublime Text. So I was like, okay, Notepad. That always works. Okay. Snowy evening walls. Let's grab it. Oh, and here's the decorative walls. Let's go ahead and grab those. Two, three, four. And then Snowy Evening Pig. I guarantee you can find that. Thank you. And there's going to be two of those. Okay. What we don't have are the costs for each of these items. So we're just going to zip back to the top and put them in real fast. There's usually a lot of duplications here. So 35, 1, 2, 3, Hood of a Snowy Evening. All of those were 35 up to the steed. Great. The steed is 80. Generic, or Yule Festival, or what is... Oh, festivity tokens. Yes, great. 70 for that. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so comparison 70, 50, 40. Warsteed Cosmetics 70 Mithril. Walls 20, 15, 15, 15, 15. You know, I don't actually remember doing that for the other ones, but I did. Okay. And then Tome of the Snowy Evening Pig, that is 30 festivity tokens, or 30 Mytho coins, which doesn't sound like a great exchange rate. Oh, yeah, so Sublime Text, I love the ability to be like, I have written some stuff down and I've closed the program, but obviously I didn't want you to throw it away. I would have told you if I wanted to throw it away. Coming into that after using things like Notepad, where if it closes, you've just lost whatever it was you were working on, it was a breath of fresh air. Nowadays, it's maybe a little less abnormal, but... You know, coming from a long history of programs that if you close them, they're just like, well, you were done with what you're working on, obviously, and we're throwing it all away. And Sublime Text was just like, no, don't worry about it, I got you. It was lovely. And so I still have that appreciation, even if the experience that is fixing isn't as rampant anymore. But do be aware that just for the first Sublime Text window and any of the tabs there, if you pull off those tabs into second or third or more windows, those don't get the same treatment. At least not in the version of Sublime Text I've got going on. It has been a while since it's updated. I wonder if I turned off the auto update. Check for updates. Oh, I need to update my license version. There's some way to do that I have ignored because I've been low on time. Okay. So, we have all of these items. That is the new rewards 2019. Great. Let's keep going with festival gifts. So we do have a couple of new ones here. Well, we have the one Snowy Evening Garments gift wrap selection box. So let's go ahead and make room for it. And get rid of Notepad. Okay. Snowy Evening Garments. Yep, gift wrap selection box. I feel like we had that somewhere else. Yep, we did. Okay, and that one is also 35. The rest of these are probably going to be pretty consistent. Yule, yep. Ice flower, northern sky, great. Woodland crowned, fur, ornate. 3 ornates, hooded, cloak, and rope. Awesome. The more the merrier steeds. Okay, so we actually picked this up by accident because it's replicated across multiple vendors. Now we might actually mention that somewhere. More the merrier steeds and more the merrier war steeds. Back up. I'm thinking about that. Cosmetic pets and emotes. Tome of the Icy Expedition sheep. Oh, no new cosmetic pets listed here. Feel like that's a missed opportunity for the Tome of the Snowy Evening Pig. Okay. Ice Expeditions, Festival, Yule Goat, Poinsettia, Brown Bear, Frost Breath. All of that looks pretty good. Reward of Yule's Past. I feel like most are... Okay. The Cloak of Icy Expeditions, that's where this is going. So, we can see we have Stone Strider. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to make room for 6 of these things. And we're probably yoinking these from the new Cloak, Hooded, Boots, Mittens, Hat, and Coat of Icy Expeditions. Fantastic. And they still cost 35. Yep. Great. So we're going to yoink those down. Those were in the new category. Now they are just in the rewards of Yule's Past. So the system works. After that, we have 6 Snow Striders. We have Wreaths, Shire Holly. Okay, next page. Yule Candle. Yep. Awesome. Rewards of Yule Past 2. Poinsettia Horn, Brown Bear, Gala. Poinsettia Cloak, Gala. Woodland for ornate. Festive, Holly, Yule Mug, and Sparkler. Awesome. Shield, helmed. I feel kind of bad for them because they produced the perfect robe for my character, so I underutilize all these other awesome things because they're just, objectively worse for my character. That's the way it is. Okay, more the merrier rewards. Wintertide, Golden Festival token. Yule, is that bind down acquire? Yep. And those 2. Great. Dyes. Any changes here? Moria, Belagir, Dark, Moran. Assortment of dwarf candles. Why are those in dyes? Well, it's like the goblin says. Die. Okay. Coming into essences. I didn't bother to do that because that to me was less interesting. Okay. Then we have the festivities. We've already updated that. Yule Festival Steeds Mithril. I think we've done that in here. Yep, we got the Snowy Evening Steed. Great. And Yule Festival War Steed Mithril. Snowy Evening. Great. That's it. Oh, Notscombe says, hello, hi there, welcome. We are just finishing up synchronizing the Festival Buddy barter list with what is available in whatever this place is, Winterhome. Yeah, with a hyphen. Okay, so what we want to do is, I feel uncertain whenever I've done all these inserts, because Excel's not a great place to be doing this. It's just the best one that fits my mental model for this. So we're going to scroll on down and recopy all of these formulas, or formulae if you prefer, to make sure that any inserted lines in here have those as well. And then we have the produced Lua table, which has all of its entries, and then we can copy this into the actual Lua document. So, Visual Code, I'm disappointed in you. I thought you would show me the non-breaking spaces. It's okay. Oh, it did say something about XML parsing having a problem. It probably relies on the XML parsing. And that ran out of memory. Okay, so we're going to come on in to our barter items. And we're going to go ahead and find the Yule section of that. Here we go. And we're going to replace the current Yule set with all of this. Now, I just realized we missed some of our dividers. So we're going to load this, but then we're going to go back in and probably do a little bit more. Okay, we have an unexpected symbol. Yeah, could do. This is barter items line 803. Great. And we can see that we do have a formula, a Lua generation issue here. It was bound to happen. Oh, yeah, because I took those things out. Fool that I am. Okay. Now, the good news is these other things we know are appear in other places. So that's good. Wintry Outdoor Fire Pit. Yep. Let me move that over so it's a little bit more visible. Winter Lantern, Yule Wall Banner. Awesome. Tome of the Expedition's Sheep. Yep. Now, the fact that these are coded yellow and red makes it almost certain that they do appear in other places, but I feel a little, weird about just deleting things. So, Christian headpiece and so great. So the new rewards from 2023 are dead. Long live the rewards. But since we're already making changes, let's go ahead and run on over for the Yule festivity tokens vendor, and it's Verbena. It's always Verbena. Let's see a thing. Okay. Entry outdoor. Yeah. So Yule festivities. That's festivity tokens. We're going to go ahead and make 2 new lines here. This is going to be actually 2. Just 1. So we're making 1 new line here, and that is going to be a Verbena Green Hand Yule festivity token vendor. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was too long, or in this case, too tall for the space that we're putting it into. And so that's why we have the ability to specify a custom row height for the divider. What's going on here? Sorry, I saw a blank, and I don't like it. Did I miss the Lua when I was copying down? I must have. Now does it look good? Yeah, okay. So we're going to go ahead and bring in these lines. And give that a try. Awesome. Well, we at least loaded. And let's go ahead and check what we see. Coming into Jeffrey Bloomer, we can see that the first entry is consumables. Fantastic. All the way on down to titles. And then we have Alex Gray, barter vendor, which has the new rewards all the way down to dies. Great. Then we have Robina Greenhand, Yule Festivity Token Vendor. And there's definitely some overlap in who sells what. And then we have Yule Festival Steeds Mithril, which is a category I forgot about. I'm so reluctant to spend Mithril coins, which is why I have 686 of them. Okay, Yule Festival Steeds Mithril. And we want to go ahead and add in this as well. Now, does she have... Yep, Festival Steeds and War Steeds. So we're going to go ahead and insert a line here, and that is going to be Mount Vendor, family name, Mithril Trader. And for that, we do need to make sure that we copy down the formula. Or, there we go. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up the updated list, and that index, that first index being incremented by 1 is why we're doing this whole thing with Excel. It just seems like the easiest way to make sure that that is correct. If there's a better method than Excel, I would be excited to learn it, though. I'm sure there's a better method, but if someone out there knows what the better method is, I'd be excited to learn it. Okay, so here we go. Mount Vendor, Mithril Trader. If I was feeling really over the top, I could even include their coordinates. So for Mount Vendor, Mithril Trader, I could go ahead and include 12.0 north, 95.1 west. I don't know. It's probably fine. Oh yeah. It was recommended that we buy the best mount in the game. Steed of Winter's Light. Okay. Oh, it hurts so much to spend Mithril. So, coming in. Steed of Winter's Light. Oh no, it started a new deed. Oh, what have you done, Narnar? But where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, well, let's check this thing out. So, definitely very fluffy looking hooves. Lots of candles in the antlers. You are a fire hazard, little pony.
Does it jingle when you move?
I haven't tried moving yet. We got the sun motif and a very fluffy tail. I guess I gotta turn my volume up. Well, that is some jingle jingle. No, says you have to make sure you're logged into your completionist character. I am logged into my completionist character, so at least there's that. Okay, let's bring back that barter window and double check the things that I might need. Nardo says, so to do you a favor, those deeds don't count in Deed Tracker because you have to buy things with Mithril. It's a whole thing. Okay, so, but it does jingle dingle. You've got that right. So I have the Tome of the Snowy Evening Pig. Excellent. What else is going on here? Got the titles. If I wanted a Cloak of a Snowy Evening, do I? That is pretty. Alright. What's its back color look like? Alright, it completely dies. The pattern stands out nicely. Alright, you know what? That's not bad. I often don't wear cloaks, but tell you what category is that? That's new rewards. Okay. You there.
What can I do for you?
Cloak of a Snowy Evening. Give it to me. Great. And of course, I don't actually want it in my inventory, so into my shared storage or wardrobe it goes. Did it go? Yeah. Okay. Learner suggests grinding LV to buy mithril to buy mounts to make the complete deed. Maybe. I guess that's a question. How's my LOTRO points doing? 16,000. I guess I have a little bit. Okay. Boots of a Snowy Evening on a hobbit? I mean, it's not a bad set. I don't think I like the hood of it, but the rest of it, it's not bad. Okay, Snowy Evening Steed. I do need that, and that's going to be under the new rewards. Let's go ahead and go to new rewards 2024, and coming down to the Snowy Evening Steed, not the Mithril version. Thank you. And I really want that to have a red thing around it. And we'll go ahead and get the War Steed cosmetics as well. Not that we're using the War Steed very often in Minas Tirith, but you know, one of these times. The Snowy Evening Walls, I heard good things about those. I'll go ahead and pick up a set of those. And that is all I need to look at, I think. Festival gifts, maybe later. Snowy Evening Steed, got it. Oh, the red wing will come when I reload, I think. All of that. Frost Breath? Yep. Okay. Looking pretty good. Oh yeah, the Brusque Bassoon. Alright, I should talk with Little Redhead about the Moria Silver Dye and the Belagir Blue Dye at some point. Make sure she has enough. Alright, I would say I've got all the things that I need to have right now. Excellent. Yes, Little Redhead says the new walls are pretty, or purty. Okay. There's one other thing I was going to look at, I think. In my notes. Apparently, there's a luxuriant coffer of the Rohirrim currently available. Let's check that out. First of all, I got some titles. That's kind of hard to see against the snow. Sorry about that. A new title has been bestowed upon you. You may now be known as Affidel of the Rohirrim, Affidel Rohan's Shield, and Affidel Rides to War. So that's the first thing that happens when I claimed the thing. So, of the Rohirrim, yeah, you are recognized as a valued patron and admired for your Rohirric style. Rides to War. Yep. And Rohan's shield. Okay. So that's the first thing that happens when you redeem that. You get those things. Now, I might not get some of the rewards because I'm on a legendary server, but we're going to go ahead and check out what I did get, which is Rohirrim, Patron's Luxuriant Mithril Coffer of the Rohirrim. Contains Mithril coins and Virtue XP. All right, we'll check that out. And Cosmetics Coffer of the Rohirrim. Why do I worry that that's going to fill up my entire inventory when I open it? Okay. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Fortunately, the wardrobe cosmetics are in their own little thing. And also we get a Steed of the Rohirrim. Let's go ahead and check that out. Steed of the Rohirrim. It's got a nice shield on it. Okay, so we got a classic Rohan shield there with 5 horses on it, which probably is enough. Got a nice bedroll. More horse iconography. I feel like if your horse is wearing horses, you're definitely getting the point across. Okay, and does it jingle? It does not jingle. That's okay. And it's got like 7 horses on it for the price of 1. All right, so that's the mount that comes with this. We also get the milestone style of the Rohirrim emote.
Oh, yeah.
That one's really cool. If you haven't seen it, now I am super enamored with the whimsical milestone, which is what I have right now. So let's go ahead and see the 2 of those. Milestone skill. Actually, travel skill. We're going to go Kinship Member's House. That's the one. So the whimsical style includes this fantastic looking willow that I just really love. And the move whimsy is why I'm dancing as I run. But let's go ahead and check this one. So that's milestone. And the milestone Rohan, you whistle for a horse, I believe. So let's go ahead and, yeah, so doing the milestone, you whistle, you get on your horse, and then you blow a horn with special cool stuff, and then the horse rears, and then you fade out. Although in this case, I canceled it right there. So I actually really like this as a in-universe sort of thing. Like, you're not just like magically teleporting, you're getting on a horse and we just fade to black while the travel happens. But in group play, I found it's incredibly disorienting when you're trying to get, if you're leading your group and you're like, cool, let's go somewhere, and you look like you're mounting up on a horse, and then you just vanish. So in group play, I am sticking with the whimsy, but for solo play, I think I really like it. So we'll see. And then we have, was there a move? A Rohirrim move? I don't see one. Okay. And we have Tome of the Herding Dog of the Rohirrim. All right. Herding Dog of the Rohirrim, acquired from the Patron's Luxuriant Coffer of the Rohirrim. Awesome. That's a Rohirrim follower with the Riders of Rohan. Is that what we're working on right now? Yes. Okay. We'll be able to get that later. Okay, anyway. Ooh, that is something. What type of dog is that? Shaggy. Yes. Okay, Shaggy Herding Dog. Wow, that's just like a list of 15 shaggy dog breeds. I'm like, no, that's okay. We'll come back to that. But in the meantime, Shaggy Herding Dog. See pet rename Hare's Horned. maybe a sheepdog. Okay, well that is just adorable and alarmingly about the same height as a hobbit. Like, what is up with that? It's like, oh, that's cute. I mean, you wake up with that in your face as a hobbit, you're gonna have a rough time of it. Yes. Skigosi says slurp. My goodness. I'm getting Tauntaun vibes. Okay. Neat. Little Redhead says, I think the dog is taller. Well, that's because I'm wearing my hat and my hair is not all poofy. I think you're giving the hair some credit here. That's okay. Okay, so we also have the Patrons of Luxuriant Wardrobe Cosmetics of the Rohirrim. My goodness. That's going to come with a weapon aura of the Rohirrim. Another normal weapon, just an aura in case you need it. And all sorts of other stuff. What does it look like? Cloak of the Rohirrim. Show me. In a stunning turn of events, it's got horses. Okay, I can see it. I like it in general. I could definitely see using it in Rohan. I like the dyeing abilities of it. Definitely seems to do. Ooh. Yeah. Do we have dark green? Yeah. Okay. Lord of the Rings Online. That is not a dark green. What is going on here? Rivendell green. That's dark green. Okay, so that is the cloak. Is there a hooded version of it? There is a hooded version of it. Okay. Not a bad hood. I don't generally go for hoods, but, you know. Alright, what do we got? Ceremonial Sword of the Rohirrim. Pointy. It's funny, for character reasons, my character uses a sword for her legendary item. But if I was min-maxing this character, I might have wanted to go with the with a club, one-handed club for plus 5% damage. Not that I'm swinging it very often anyways, but, you know. For those times when I am swinging it, I'm missing out on 5% damage. But swords are just so pointy. Sigosi suggests using this dog as a new mount. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool, actually. I would pay 70 mithril coin if there was a steed version of this herding dog for hobbits. I would do that. Alright, can you preview auras? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. And then what's the rest of this outfit look like? Okay, what's it look like without the hat? I think I'm not a hat person other than the sun hat. Alright, so I wonder if they were synergizing this at all with the release of the Rohan movie, which is not coming to a theater near us because we don't live in Rotterdam. I mean, kind of subtle for Rohan armor. I'm only seeing 2 horses on it. Wait, where's the shield? I want to see it without the shield. I mean, yeah, I'm not looking at the helmet, but are those horses on the boots? I don't think so. So we've got a horse at the waist, a horse at the neck, and that's it? Just 2 of them? Alright, and then the shield itself has another 5, so that's fair. And then that headpiece is just something. In fact, you can't even see it all the way if you zoom in. It definitely counts for at least 1 horse. So so 5 horses on the shield, 1 horse on the hat is 6, and then 2 on the armor for 8, a total of 8 horses. Narnar asks, can you use your massive influence to get some proper Rohan kinship housing? I wouldn't say I have any influence, and if I had any to spend, it would probably be on the Lewis side of things and not on the Rohan housing side of things. Though I think they did a really interesting thing with the mead halls, but I do not know what their plans are for housing, but it's been a while since I've looked at the chart. But you've got the Gondor housing, you've got the Rohan housing, you've got the Bree housing. Humans are kind of represented in the housing department, whereas the sheepdogs, we haven't seen any of theirs. Okay, scenario. Little Redhead says, I think scenario said elf housing is next. Narnar says the best is Lindleby, and it's not even close. I had a fun time running around Lindleby when it was first announced, making maps of the neighborhood of all the placement sites. But I'm much more of a making maps of housing person than I am a using housing person. That's just where my interests lie. Little Redhead says, Lindleby is great. I love the OG Shire too. You know, I say that, but actually, over on Laurelin, my kinship member's house point is set to Lindleby. And so I'm actually very used to running around in the neighborhood. I just never think of it as Lindleby. It's just that the neighborhood on Laurelin. It's like the only neighborhood Laurelin has. So actually, I agree. The layout of Laurelin, of Lindleby is great as long as you zone in at the house that I zone in at, because then I know how to get to the center of town. Not sure about the rest of it. It's probably fine. But the one I zone into is lovely. When you zone in, there's a boat there, and in the boat are ingredient crates, and behind you is a thing that you go to Umbar, the captivating flame or whatever. So yeah, Laurelin's housing is wonderful. No notes. Okay. I don't know if this is for my particular hobbit, but I could definitely see my hobbit guardian when running around in Rohan rocking this look. Okay. And then I will be tossing that into my wardrobe later. But for right now, except for this normal weapon aura, because I already have 3 of those, and that's all you can use. So the next thing is this luxuriant mithril coffer of the Rohirrim, which gave me 500 mithril coins. I guess I can get those steeds now. And 6 lesser elixirs of virtue. And each of these has 2,500 virtue experience, which is going to go great on my secondary guardian. Speaking of. Okay, so that is what you get if you if you redeem the luxuriant coffer on Treebeard on a legendary server. I do not know if there's anything else that you get if you log in subsequently on a live server, on a standard server. Little Redhead might be able to let me know if I'm missing anything there. But hey, coffer. Let's go ahead and open that Earl. Shoop. Okay. Awarded once per account to the character logged in when making the purchase. Okay. And awarded to every character on your account forever. So that was the 3 titles. That is the Luxuriant Cosmetics Coffer of the Rohirrim, which we just saw contains those bits. And the Steed of Rohirrim and Warsteed, the Herding Dog, and the Milestone Style of the Rohirrim. Okay, awesome. I did not see a Valar in that list. Cool, so that is what happens if you purchase the coffer, the Patron's Coffer of the Rohirrim. Again, nothing game-breaking in there, but certainly some nice-to-haves. I like this sheepdog specifically. I think that might replace my turtle for a little bit. And this, the milestone movement, like I said, we play so often in group play that I don't think it's actually going to be my new favorite because of the confusion of what are you doing? So yes, if someone clicks on me, they can see I'm traveling to kinship member's house. But if they only look at me, they will either think I just got on a war horse, or at the very least I've mounted up and we're going to ride overland. So that is not going to be my new group play milestone. So for that, we're going back to the whimsy. Let's see. So coming on into the emotes, milestone. Let's see, Mirkwood. Yeah, oftentimes I'm leading the charge as far as offering suggestions of where to go. So I want my milestone skill to be very visible, and the whimsy one does that. When you do this one, people know that you are activating a mile skill. So if I'm the one who's like, let's go to wherever, and I do this, there's no confusion over what's going on there. F3R asks, why didn't we get a movement/walk style on the Rohirrim chest? I don't know if there was a stated reason. It was a surprise to me. I just got it on this character. And while I love the milestone skill and I'm not using it in group play, I was, I guess, a little surprised that there wasn't a walk. I'm guessing they're trying to include things that they think players will find neat, but also things that mesh well with the world. And if we look at the other movements that we see, let me go ahead and say move. Let's see. The defender one is interesting. I get to run along with my sword. That feels like it belongs in a martial world. The Mirkwood of sneaking along. There's definitely a lot of sneaking in the Lord of the Rings. And the move Whimsy, I think, is a fun callback to Tom Bombadil, and I like that we get to use that. Though it does feel a little weird to do that in some of the darker places. I don't know what would make sense in a Rohan-themed environment for the walk, and perhaps they just... after that says, running around carrying a Rohirrim banner on a pike would be amazing. I agree. I don't know what their reasoning was, but I would guess it's some combination of the time to think of and implement cool ideas was not available to them. That would be a guess. But that is all I can do, for I have no inside information. Sometimes I don't even have outside information, but I think I am up to date on what there is to know about this. But I guess I would check the forums, because I was surprised when there wasn't a movement one, because they've been coming in pairs. And it wouldn't surprise me if other people had already posted on the forums to say, hey, what's up with that? We're missing out here. But I haven't checked the forums to see what kind of feedback there is on there. Okay. So, what did we do today? We ran through the Festival Buddies quick guide, made sure it still worked. There is actually... there was a change, or possibly a typo, in the quick guide that I fixed. There we go. During the week when I was testing this, at some point it seems like they added a hyphen to snow beasts in the quest progression text. So it brought cheer to the snow dash beast instead of snow beast, all one word. It's not entirely possible that it's entirely possible that I mistyped it, but I try not to type things. I try to copy paste them in case there's things like hidden non-breaking spaces in there or something. So I feel like that was just one of the things they caught when they hyphenated things that were meant to be hyphenated but weren't, and that was just caught in there. So that is a quick guide fix that needed to be done. But I did actually get a chance to run through this in French and German, and anytime I completed an objective, the appropriate one was crossed off of the list. So that was nice to see that it was only slightly broken in English. After the quick guide, we went ahead and worked on the barter window, and as Narnar says, we blew our minds open about the multi-select options in Sublime Text. And just in case you weren't there for that, that's the ability to come into Sublime Text and other modern text editors and select a certain amount of text and press Alt F3 to go ahead and select every space or every place where that exists, and be able to act within those selections independently. I guess they're dependently, but at the same time. So we can go ahead and select all of the lines that have that and see, oh, there were 8 of them. Cool. Or, you know what? Let's see all the places where crafting boost exists. Well, there's 17 of them, spread across however many, 239,000 lines. But we don't have to find them all. We can look at them in isolation. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, is take things out of a large file. This is 250,000 lines. I do not want to Control F my way through this file. I want to look at these together as a cohesive whole. And see, okay, what are these things that say crafting boost plus, and without seeing everything else as well. So with Sublime Text, I will often do some sort of multi-select. Cool, Bounty Hunter, multi-select that, select the line, copy and paste into a new file, and now I have 53 lines to deal with instead of 250,000 lines. So just be aware, multi-selects can get kind of dicey performance-wise if you do a lot of them. So for instance, if I select the word value, that took a meaningful fractions of a second to actually select them all. But then if you try to, we can see we have 240,000 selections. So if I try to do something with that, like delete it, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006. It is not performant to do that. So if you're going to end up with a meaningful number of these things, sometimes it's easier to copy, again, yoink those lines into a new buffer and do your stuff there. So you're not having to think about how to move 250,000 lines up a few bits one at a time. And it's still thinking, right? So this is I don't even know if it's a flaw. It is just a reality. If you have 250,000 regions selected and you try to do a thing, it's going to not be performant, probably. Your mileage may vary. On my machine, with this file, it is not performant. It is still thinking. Eventually, it's going to be done, and I'm going to be like, I'm so sorry I made you do that, because I don't actually need it. That little bit of electricity just wasted. So just be aware of that. Keep an eye out for that bit at the bottom of the window there where it says how many selected regions you have. If the number of selected regions is meaningfully large, whatever that means on your machine, try not to do edits in line like this. Would have been way faster if I had just done a find and replace all for value and replaced it with nothing. Probably. Actually, that's a good question. As soon as Sublime Text finishes dying, maybe I'll try that offline. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just let that die in the background. Okay. And then we went ahead and got the new coffer and checked out the contents there. So a very full day. I think we're rapidly approaching the end of today's stream, though. So if you had any last-minute questions, comments, concerns, now's a great time to get them in the chat. I'm going to consider whether I want to buy any more of these mithril steeds. But I think, I don't know. I mean, from a completionist standpoint, yay. From, do I actually want them in my character's inventory? I don't actually know. So this is where I would actually either go into the wiki or use the browser here. So if I come in here, what do I need? Ethul. It's green and flowery. I can see it. Oh, that's the 2016 festival seeds. So you have to collect them from the various festivals. Okay, fantastic. Winter Wind.
That's because you're looking at the 2016 one.
Yeah, so I won't be able to complete that deed at this. Of course I won't. Steed of Winter Winds. Nice blues. I like it. I'd be concerned because they're not account-wide, of course. Thillian Winter. Oh, that's tempting because we're going into North Athelion. I could see that as being a thematic approach. until you get that one. My goodness. All right, I'll be reviewing these with my newfound mithrils from getting this coffer. Okay. Yeah, Narnar says they are nice. Little Redhead points out there are different steed deeds. Yeah, so if I get more steeds from this, I'm going to unlock more deeds that then I have to worry about completing. I don't know if that's a good idea for me. That could cause problems. Okay. Narnar says, hey, buddy, are you a completionist or not? I am a completionist within a narrowly defined definition of if you can currently do it in the game without paying real money or its Mithril coin equivalent, because while you can get Mithril coins for LOTRO points, it's a rough exchange rate, so you're probably spending real money on that at some point. So yes, if you can do it in-game currently as the game exists without spending real money or Mithril coins, then I want to do it with this character. Right? If it involves spending Mithril coins, I'm okay doing a few of those, but I don't have that same completionist need for them. I accept that, some things have passed me by. If I'd been playing these festivals every year for the past 10 years, 15 years, 18 years at this point, sure, I would have them. But because I missed out on that limited time offering and now they're Mithril coins, I have it in me to let that go. At least for now. If this character gets to max level and has done everything else, and the thing that is remaining are these Mithril coin mounts, then I guess we'll see. But there's so much else to do. From deeds in Central Gondor, I haven't gotten all those treasure boxes. Like, there's other things I can do to finish off the completionist itch. I guess we'll see. Time will tell on that one. Yeah, Sublime Text is still hung up. Fantastic. Hoping it will not crash, because I have other stuff that is unsaved in there. It's usually pretty good about not crashing. It just sometimes will grind to a halt for 10 minutes until it decides to not crash. We'll see. Narnar says, it would be nice if they came back around for festival tokens from time to time. I agree. I think cycling those back in for, you've missed your chance in 2012, but here we go. It seems like the kind of thing that they could do. I don't know if they will do it, but certainly they are able to. Yeah, Naruto says even if it was like 1K or 2K festival tokens. Yeah, that's fair. Even on this, my main here has only 560 because I'm not doing a bunch of festivaling, and whenever I need festival tokens for another festival, I'll just burn down these because I find the Yule tokens super easy to get. Oh, that's funny. I was just looking at the hover over for Yule festival tokens. Yeah, so I find it really easy to get the Yule tokens. So if I need tokens for another festival, I'll just spend a few hundred of these, no problem, because they're easy enough to get the next time around. But it means I usually don't have 2,000 unless I'm making an effort. Yeah, Little Redhead says, like a 10-year later sort of thing, that would be cool. Yeah, I agree. Little Redhead says, 1K or 2K tokens would be hilarious for the Midsummer Festival since the cap is 250. All right, 251. We'll softball it. No, I mean, that would be a funny thing. Like 250, you got to use them all. All right, well, I think that is everything we're going to cover today. And I think we are caught up with chat. So thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of LOTRO plugins. Probably going to release this update to Festival Buddy in the near future. And next week, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. So I hope to see you here next week. And until then, keep plugging along. All right, bye-bye now.